Throughout the last couple of years, we have a few games now coming out that are based on existing movie IPs, such as Hogwarts Legacy or the Shadow games, as well as some stinkers. But there was one franchise that had left fans starved and had shown no love until now, and that was Tron. So to start, this is far from a AAA game. It is from a much smaller studio, so think more like an indie dev. So given that, how is the game? Well, to tell you right from the start, it's mid. So not terrible, but not great either. Given the price and the length of the game, I would say a 6 out of 10. But I'm glad after playing the demo I didn't purchase this game, because it still wasn't even worth that for me, and many seem to agree. So the story is pretty boring and not very memorable. Same with the cast of characters, from the main character to any of the main side characters you talk to. It doesn't help either that most of the game is done through reading dialogue, with the occasional cutscene, as you would call it, of a character's portrait as they do some voice acting here and there. The story is serviceable to get you to explore the world of Tron. It also had an interesting mechanic which they called a loop. To keep it simple, each section you play has its own loop, and you can go through it, discover secrets, passcodes, find out things about certain characters, and so on. Then you'll start back to the beginning of that loop with all the knowledge you have. But unfortunately, it feels a little wasted here. Think something like Deathloop, but without all the extra action and fun side activities you can do throughout. Most of the things you discover lead to nothing new and basically is only used when the quest prompts you to. A wasted opportunity in my opinion to do something cool and unique here. You could pretty much get through this whole game without ever needing it unless the quest prompted you to, and you wouldn't notice much difference. As for the gameplay, even by the end of the demo I had already felt bored with how repetitive it is. Which, let's be fair, most games are like that, but without lack of any impact or hits, good combos and so on, it just got boring faster than most games do. And when games from the PS2 era, such as God of War or Devil May Cry, use the same perspective and the same kind of combat style, there's not really much excuse for the game not feeling great. It just covers the basics like button mashing to attack, you get a dodge, you have a bit of an auto aim with your disc throw, and then of course a parry. But none of these are done particularly well or particularly bad, they're just serviceable. The world itself is pretty cool though, as they do a good job making it feel like Tron when you're roaming the streets from the movies. And once you get the light cycle, it adds a lot of fun getting around from A to B, but it's just not enough to save this game for me. Now I would say I'm not a huge fan of the Tron franchise myself. I enjoyed the reboot in the movies, and I also enjoyed the last main entry of the franchise, Tron Evolution. Even though that game too was made at the time, and it was nothing to brag about, it just felt more fun, more impactful. So for me, my takeaway is that it's a mid game. If you're a big fan of the franchise, it's probably worth the play as many have said, but expect it to be short and not very memorable. But anyway, that's it from me. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.